Welcome to E-commerce Profit Guide, where we help e-commerce entrepreneurs maximize their profits. Today we're going to be discussing a problem that many successful e-commerce sellers face. Imagine you get an email from your CPA telling you that you have a huge tax bill due. You log into your bank account to see how much money you got available and you just don't see it there. What causes that and how can you fix that? Today we're going to be talking to Richard Starkey, who is an e-commerce accountant with many years of experience. He's helped sellers who sell on Amazon, Etsy, Shopify, Walmart, WooCommerce, and more in their businesses. Richard, how would you deal with the problem? And what tips can you give our viewers as to how to avoid this and how to deal with this successfully?
Oh, Sean, it's such a topical thing right now, being tax season coming up, right? So we experience this with our new clients specifically. Tax season comes up, they think, they've taken out 30 grand or 50 grand, 1,000 from the business for the year. So they're expecting to pay taxes on that. Specifically when there's like an LLC that flows through, there's no salary, right? We then clean up the books. We get the books done on accrual basis. And geez, that 50 grand actually turns out to be they made profit of 300 or 500 or $1 million. And they go, oh my word, I have to pay taxes now on $1 million, but I only got 50 grand in the bank account. They can't reconcile it. So part of the problem is previously they had someone on Fiverr or they're using a cash basis bookkeeping service that was cheap, right? And basically the big issue here is their inventory purchases under cash basis, not IRS compliant cash basis, just the real term purchase inventory that becomes an expense. Well, they were getting that done and those purchases were just being expensed by the previous bookkeeper. Now, accrual basis says that's an inventory purchase, right? So those inventory sits on the balance sheet and only goes to cost of goods sold as and when the related product is sold. So let's take a client, let's call her Kathy, right? Kathy, we had a good example this year. I'm using a made up name, of course. Thought she only had 300-400 grand in profits. When we finished doing accrual, what happened? Well over 1.6 million in profits. What was the issue? Is the rest of that 1.6 versus the 300 she had spent on planning ahead and making inventory prepayments and inventory purchases right at year end. The cash basis guys were just going, oh, 1.6 million, that's an expense. That's not accounting, right? So what happens when we do it correctly, 1.3 million is sitting in the balance sheet. So she's taken all those profits, put them into inventory, but you still got 1.6 million in profits, Kathy. You got a tax bill now coming on 1.6 million, not the 300 grand that's in your bank account. Now that creates crisis. That's a business ending crisis for someone like that. Where they're going to find the 500, 600, 700,000 in cash. Now you and I have seen that on quite a few different clients at different scale. That's the biggest issue. We got to. The earlier we get hold of a set of books, the quicker we can actually do something about that, right? Because Kathy, if she had her accrual accounts done from February, she would have known that kind of profits coming. So what she could have done is she could have made, first of all, she could have budgeted cash properly, right? Not bought that much inventory at year end, or she could have used some funding mechanism to, take out a loan and keep some cash on hand and plan for it. Or she was really smart. She would have worked with one of our CPA tax planning partners. And in June, July, when this started realizing that some big profits were coming, we could have gone and bought or purchased tax-friendly assets that give tax-friendly depreciation, right? So she could have landed up with a property that she had depreciated and wiped out that large tax bill.
Thanks for that information, Richard. If you like this clip, remember to like and subscribe to our channel. That's all from the e-commerce guide. See you next time.